with another episode of No Man's Sky. We had a little issue last time. I did an episode, and for some reason, it just did not do the recording for it. So, you didn't miss too much. We got to the space station, talked to a few people, and learned some languages. Teleported back to the base using the teleporter over here, and checked our base computer. It led us to a crashed freighter that had plans for a hyperdrive. The hyperdrive was installed in the ship here, and once we got it installed, it said that we need to find warp cells and stuff, but in order to do that, we need antimatter. And in order to find antimatter, we've got to go into space and find the antimatter. So that's what we're going to do. And again, apologize for the lost recording, but I don't know what it was doing, so... Alright, so let's scan for it. And the antimatter is somewhere over here. I'll bet it's at this location thingy here. Now, let's do something while we're here. I want to put this down and start refining some of my stuff. First things first, let's put the rusted metal in here. That'll go quick. While that's going, let's go inside and check for the antimatter. This place looks beat up. Okay. Oh, look, a free microprocessor. Now that we don't need one. Now, we'll need a bunch of those too. So it's no biggie. Some nanites. Good. Nothing in here. I think this thing is deserted terminal. Alright. More goop. Terminal online. Selecting key. Decrypting. Success. Unnerving pulsating slime. Nevertheless, it appears to function. As I touch the input panel, and the alien substance react violently. I make a note to avoid getting closer. The device opens, revealing a single unblinking crimson eye. It prints out a blueprint for antimatter, accompanied by a strange message. Take blueprint and read log. You will find us when the time is right. 16, 16, 16. So I need chromatic metal and condensed carbon, which I have both of. Oof. Oh, stupid vine. I've seen people online call these type of plants whippers. My specific name for them is dick vines. So, got hit by a dick vine. Guess whippers is the PG friendly version, but we're not always PG friendly, guys. Alright, craft antimatter. Yes, yes, yes. Antimatter. Assemble antimatter housing. Okay, create antimatter housing. Which is oxygen and ferrite dust. Okay. Craft a warp cell. Which just uses the antimatter housing and the antimatter. So now we've got the hyperdrive. And it says we will do that. Warp cell. That gets us to 25% charge. So it says launch into space to test interstellar systems. And we will do that in a little bit, but we got other stuff to do. Alright, first things first, let's grab this ferrite dust out of here. And put in... What does residual goop turn into? Viscous fluids. Okay, good, because we have viscous fluids, and we'll turn that into something. Alright, let's look around a little bit. What is that? Weird creature on the planet. And we need an advanced mining laser to get these big crystals, so we'll get there eventually, gang. What is this? Unidentified mineral. Really weird looking. Gold, copper. That's a gold deposit right there. There's really weird looking things on this planet. Back to our refiner. See if it's done yet. Looks to be. Alright, so let's put the viscous fluids in here, which turn into living slime. Three minutes for that. Alright, let's go. We can transfer some stuff from our inventory to the ship. Let's put the Viking effigy in the ship. And might as well put the starship fuel in the ship. What does it take to make a bolt caster? Chromatic metal and carbon nanotubes. 3 carbon nanotubes. So while we're making the stuff in the refiner, let's see if we can make a gun. 2, 3. But that, we're just going to need more chromatic metal, which we'll have to make in the refiner once it's done with this living slime stuff. Alright, well, I had a plan. but that's okay. New plan. So, the whispering eggs. In order to open it, you just shoot it with the mining laser, and you can get whatever comes inside of it. There is an issue with shooting eggs, and that is the things that own the eggs are never happy. So we just gotta keep moving here real quick. Oh, something hit us. We're just gonna do some quick circles while those things are chasing us. Grab these larval cores, and you'll see why in a little bit, guys. Okay, keep doing laps. They're chasing us. Right? Hey. Yep. Okay, keep going. I don't know where that one went. Ooh. I'm doing pretty well so far. I hope I didn't jinx myself. Just keep going, guy. And these creatures will despawn after a while, but that'll be after you stop raiding all their eggs and stuff. Keep doing laps until I have them all. Keep moving, keep moving. Traveled 10 kilometers. Yeah, running in circles from these things. That's not what I want. What's over here while we're running? Discovered a camp. Now, if you go inside, they can't get you inside, I don't think. But look at the value on these things. 698,000 units for 10 of them. And we've got 24 of them. So that is a really, really good way to make money. And it says swarm subsiding. So now if we come out, all those little death critters are gone. So let's grab the living slime, put it in the exosuit. You know what? You go in the exosuit too. We need copper into chromatic metal. But we need more fuel in order to do it. Alright. So that's just a little over a minute to make all of that. How much do we need for the gun? 8 more, huh? Oh, we can grab that right now. Alright, I was gonna use the gun to shoot those things, but running from them works. Valid option. Now our life support is getting low too, so we'll put some oxygen into that. This is good. Like I said, we're gonna need chromatic metal in a bunch of things. So, always good to have a strong supply of it. And if you put larval cores in here, it turns them into nanite clusters. You can see we can turn it into 200 nanites there. So do we want credits or do we want nanites? I'm going to turn these 4 into nanites. That's pretty quick. You know what? I got an idea. We're going to get a ton of nanites first, because then we can get some S-class upgrades and use that to make money hand over fist. Huh? Okay. Okay, you... a minute to make all of that into the slime. Let's look around. Didn't one of these hills have a deposit on it or something? What is that? Gold. Yeah, we can't turn gold into metal, but that copper could be turned into more metal. Let's see what else is around here. Sodium deposit. Another gold deposit. Sodium deposits. Copper deposits. And gold deposit. Yeah, we don't want to run clear over that copper deposit right now. We could, but this will be done soon. Freeze up slots. Okay, here's a whole big bunch of it. That'll take 5 minutes. Now, oops, hold on. Let's fuel you up the whole way. Now, we go find that copper deposit, because now we have time to spare. So, trying to make efficient use of our time here, guys. You know, this is a pretty good first system to be in, to be honest with you. Decent planets with different mix of resources. So. Nice that we have a planet with some gold resources on it to get those easy, even though you can get that from the asteroids. Most of the time pretty... The asteroid stuff is random, because like we saw, sometimes you get tritium, sometimes you get silver or platinum things. So if you need gold for anything, and there are some things you need gold for, nice to have a planet where you can just come down, scan for a deposit, and go mine it. No gold left behind. Or no copper left behind, I guess. Alright. So, there we go. Where's my ship? There it is. Oops, that was the bolt caster. Alright, let's grab the dihydrogen on the way back. Yeah, there are little robotic creatures called sentinels in this game that sometimes they're immediately aggressive, sometimes they start out passive, but if they you like killing a lot of wildlife or mining a lot, they'll come over and investigate and basically then go hostile if they see you doing hostile acts to the planet or whatever. They're like eco-terrorists. So if you're hurting their planet, either the fauna or even the rocks or the plant, they'll go crazy and try and kill you. So you gotta be careful of that. But like I said, this seems to be a good first system to be in, because I don't think we've seen any oh nice, but I don't think we've seen any sentinels yet. So there's where our base is. I can see my house from here. It'd be funny if build a base here, build a base there, and then see if we could make them big enough that you could see one from the other. There is a base building limit, if you will, on how far away from your base computer you're allowed to build and stuff in the game. I think there are ways around it, but we're not gonna look into doing any of that. We're gonna keep our bases as simple as we need them to be for what we need to get done in the game. I like to build bases, but I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on that in this game. Okay, there we got a bunch of runaway mold. If we put that, it turns into 112 nanites in just under a minute. And that's what we were shooting for. So now we've freed up a few more spaces in the inventory. And we're getting more nanites. We have a lot of chromatic metal in case we need it for stuff. And we have some copper in case we need to turn it into more chromatic metal. And in order to make a warp cell, antimatter housing, and antimatter. Antimatter housing is oxygen and ferrite dust. Antimatter is chromatic metal and condensed carbon. So, let's make just a little more so we can make one more warp cell and put it in the ship. Not yet, because the starship fuel puts it to 100. We still have a little bit in the thrusters, so we don't want to waste that yet. And that used all of our stuff. Let's turn the copper into more chromatic metal. That'll be 1 more minute. Oh, I know what we can do while we wait this time. We'll go to discoveries, zoom out of the planet, and just go to the system itself, and that uploads everything that we found in the system and gives us extra nanites. So, a bunch of ways that we got a bunch of nanites, and now we've got 1,707 nanites. And Quicksilver is another currency that you use for certain special items. We'll get to that once we find somebody that takes Quicksilver. Alright, almost done. So, I know I showed you this before when it was just had the fuel in it, but it's got the fuel and the chromatic metal in it now. So if I hit the button, which on the PlayStation controller is R3 to pick up, I pick it up and I get whatever's in it. So the condensed carbon and the chromatic metal, and I get my portable refiner. And they all automatically just hop into the inventory. So that's the easiest way to do that. Alright, good trip down here. Now my launch thruster's at 0. Now I will use the spaceship launch fuel. Alright, let's get to space. In space, access the galaxy map from the quick menu. Move along specific paths or browse and choose your own route. Warping requires warp fuel in your hyperdrive. Some systems require hyperdrive upgrades to access. Alright, so push down, go to the galaxy map. And there's us in the Starford system. The red line is showing the path towards the galactic core, which at the top destination you can push left and right and change it. So we can just do free explore and go to wherever we want, or push this and head toward the core, which is our end goal for this series. So we can just go along that line, and it says we can go to this system, which is 66 light years away. It is a G7 type star, I guess. I don't know. There's water available, so there's planets that have water, or at least one planet that has water. And it is a Viking system. That's what this symbol means. We don't know whether it's a rich or poor system, or whether it's a peaceful or kind of outlaw type system, or at least lots of pirates and stuff, so you gotta be careful about that. But let's go back to this system and show you mercantile system conflict low. So this is a 2 out of 3 on the economy scale, 2 stars out of 3, and it's low on the conflict scale. It's a level 1. So this really is a good starting system. It could have been a lot worse for us. But let's go to free explore, and you can go look at all these different ones. Anomalous signal blocking warp means we can't go there because there's something about it. In this case, it's because it's a dissonant system, and you need a different thing to be able to get into those, which we don't have yet. And it's a Gek system, and we don't like the filthy Gek. Here's a Gek system. Anomalous signal blocking warp. Now this is because, see, the star color is red. There are different star colors. There are the yellow, the red, the blue. There's a green one up there at the top, and then there are purple stars too. you need certain hyperdrive upgrades to get into any system that isn't a yellow system. And even some of the yellow ones you'll have a hard time getting into. Now this is a Korvax system. Let's warp to this system, so just so we can get to a different species held system, so that when we visit the space station, the majority of the people there will be a different species, and we can learn more of their language, the Vy'keen, which is where it wanted to take us on the way to the galactic core, that next system there. Which don't worry about, you know, which systems you're really going to and everything. Like I said, you can always use the teleporter at the space station to warp back to your main base anytime you want. And once you've visited space stations on any of the other systems, you can always warp to those too. So no matter where you're going in the galaxy, you can get really far, you know, hundreds or thousands of light years away from your base, and be able to warp back in the blink of an eye. So, the Ogdone system. Okay. First things first, scan the planet. Radioactive planet. Starship monitoring system reports error. Guidance system malfunction. Searching for other routes. Searching. Obtained. Destination in 16, 16, 16, 16, 16 light seconds. Accept? Yes. Guidance accepted. Plotting route. Okay. Hit. Fuel source detected. Ancient bones. That's a good planet. Gamma root, copper, uranium, and silver. Alright. Discovered. See, because this is a kind of quest planet, sometimes it'll just generate one that's been discovered by somebody else. In this case, Eliminados. But, so that's the planet, that's the moon, but he hadn't discovered this one. It's unmapped. But he did do that one. Salvageable scrap. And he didn't do this one. What's on this one? Endless morass. Copper, facium, salt. But he did do that one. Alright, first things first, let's go. Do we want to go to the space station, or do we want to go down and find that thing? You know what, let's go to the space station first. We'll do the actual quest afterwards. I want to get in here and get the upgrades first. Alright, first things first. Suit upgrade. Which will give us an extra one for 5,000 units. Not bad. We have 96,000 units. We can afford that easy. Exosuit. No, not exosuit stuff yet. We want the... Nope. Where's the gun? We want the gun. This guy. Alright. We want a scanner module that is an S-class. If he of course doesn't have it. What a dope. Blaze javelin, neutron cannon, or a pulse spitter. Okay. Nope, we're not getting those. He didn't have what I wanted. We're not going to get that stuff. Let's look at the exosuit real quick. See what S-class he has. Thermal protection, toxic protection, life support, maybe, and radiation. Alright, not grabbing any of those for now. On to check Starship. Nope, this is Exocraft. I stupid. S-class reactor for 12,000 nanites. Of course we can't afford that. Pulse engine module? Ship maneuverability and speed. Starship shield module. Photon cannon module. Ooh. You know what? Let's do it. There's our pulse engine. Here's our shield. And we're just a little short for the photon cannon. That's okay. Okay, so here's the upgrade. Install. Here. Move the hyperdrive over here. And we'll put the... Now, notice it says maneuverability 11, boost 11, and drive efficiency 20. If we put it right next to the engine that it's boosting, they both light up. That makes them linked, if you will, and it's better to do that so that the upgrades sometimes get more efficient that way. Where's our other upgrade? Here we go. Install. Right next to the shield. That gives us an extra 30% shield strength. It's good for now. Let's talk to a couple of these guys. Learn some more words. Get word for destroy. Yes, yes. Nope, that's a... Press dialect help. I don't think... Yeah, we still need to do stuff to be able to talk to the guild guys and be able to unlock stuff, so... And I don't think we have anything that they want, probably. Yeah, we'll check. We might, you never know. Alright, so, here's a Vy'keen, okay? Remember we had... Oh no, yeah, the Vy'keen effigy. We offer him a Vy'keen effigy, accepts with gratitude. On the right, standing request increased, Vy'keen times 1. So, the Vy'keen species likes us a little better. And the higher you get that up so many times, and you get higher levels of standing with them, and they give you discounts and will come to your aid sometimes in systems, like if you're in one of their systems and you're being attacked, maybe Vy'keen ships will come to your defense, or you can call them to your defense and stuff with, they'll give you items to be able to call them to your defense. So whenever you get those special things that are like species specific, like that one that we got, the Vy'keen effigy was for the Vy'keen. Like you couldn't give it to one of these guys or one of the Corvex here or one of the Gek. It wouldn't let you do that. But you can see that the Korvax guy wants a Korvax casing. So if we find any of those, we give those to Korvax. So anytime you visit a new space station, make sure you talk to a bunch of the people to get some language things. You know, I'm not going to be heartbroken if I miss one of these guys, or more than one of these guys, but I just wanted to get here, get some upgrades. Let's see. Every one of these guys is different too. This is a Mercenaries Guild one. They want salvage glass, pirate transponders, quad servos, crystallized hearts, hard frame engines, and vile cortexes. So we don't have any of those, and we can't buy any of these because we're not friendly enough with the guild. But yeah, we need to follow the Starship automatic guidance, right? Yeah, we need to do that to find another fuel source, I think. But we'll do that next time. So thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe and that like button if you haven't done so. Ring the notification bell so you're apprised of upcoming content. And as always, thank you for coming along on this journey, and have a great day. Goodbye.